Hello, I am Jacob, and welcome to the fourth part of my success story. I'm going to share how I managed my small team and shaped them into a group capable of making big decisions. Decisions that would not only change their lives, but also lay the foundation for my real estate empire. At this point in my journey, I had 6 people working with me. To organize their efforts and maximize results, I made a strategic move. I divided the team into 2 groups. One team focused entirely on residential real estate, while the other team specialized in commercial properties. Now, working with residential properties was relatively easier. Finding homes, apartments, and family buyers wasn't too complicated. But the commercial side, that was a different challenge altogether. Choosing the right office space, understanding business needs, convincing clients, that took time, patience, and persistence. Still, I knew one thing for sure. If we could succeed in closing commercial deals, the commissions would be far greater than anything we could make in the residential sector. So, we worked day and night. We pushed ourselves beyond comfort, beyond routine, and then came a breakthrough. Alex, one of my commercial team members, identified a promising deal. It wasn't closed yet, but it was on the table, moving toward maturity. For us, that was enough to shift into full gear. We treated the single deal as if our lives depended on it. Every member of the commercial team poured their energy, skills, and determination into making it happen. We worked tirelessly to ensure that our clients were satisfied at every stage. And finally, after weeks of effort, we closed it. That deal was more than just a commission. It was a turning point. The beginning of a journey that had started with me alone, but was now becoming something much bigger. That deal became the first step. The first solid brick in building what would later become my real estate empire. Of course, success must be shared. After closing the deal, I rewarded both my commercial and residential teams with strong incentives. I wanted them to know that their hard work mattered, that their efforts were the reason we were moving forward. But I also realized something else. As the company grew, it was becoming harder for me to manage everything on my own. I needed someone reliable, someone experienced, someone who could step in as a manager and handle the daily operations, while I focused on strategy and growth. That's when I remembered a friend, Anthony. Anthony was 52 years old, and I had met him several times before. He had solid experience in real estate and a deep understanding of the market. I already knew quite a bit about his background, and I trusted his judgment. So I reached out to him. I explained my vision, my goals, and the story of how I had started with nothing but a commission check and a dream. I told him about the risks I took, the people I hired, and the deals we had managed to close. I spoke with passion because this was not just business. It was my life. Anthony listened carefully, and then he said something that filled me with hope. He said, "If you like, I could become a part of this group." Of course, he had his own conditions, specific terms that were important to him, but I was willing to accept them because I knew, with his expertise and leadership, we could take this company to a completely new level. And so, after 14 months of running this business, I finally had my very first manager. Anthony was officially joining us. The happiness I felt in that moment is hard to describe. It wasn't just about hiring someone. It was about gaining a partner, a guide, and a supporter for the vision I had carried alone for so long. Tomorrow, Anthony will join our company in person. And once he does, I will be handing over several responsibilities to him. Some of these responsibilities may surprise you, because I chose to distribute them in a very unique way. That, my friends, is the story for the next part. Stay tuned, because what comes next will show you how delegation, trust, and leadership can transform a small business into a growing empire.